mallet, a screwdriver, a hammer, a step ladder, a spirit level, a handsaw, a wrench and a standing knife or cutting tool. Begin by laying out the bearers for your cabin on your prepared base with even spacing. Group the rest of the logs together and place them around the side that they're needed. The instructions from your kit will help you identify each log by shape, length and number. The bearers will give you the basic layout for your building and raise it off the ground to prevent damp. Place the foundation logs for the cabin on the front and rear logs, screwing them into the bearers beneath to prevent movement. You can then begin to build up the cabin walls in even layers. Slide a log into the corner joint and tap firmly with a rubber mallet to ensure a tight fit. You then need to alternate between the front, back and sides of the cabin. Once you get going, the walls go up pretty quickly. When you have built the walls around a third of the way up, you can install the window kit. It helps if you use your screwdriver to loosen the framing on the back of the window slightly. This allows you to slide it neatly into position with ease. Tighten the bottom framing back up to lock the kit in place and do the rest as you build up the remaining wall logs. Continue to build up the logs around the rest of the building, tightening the window framing as you go. The next section starts to build up the roof beams and veranda section. When securing the veranda log joints, you'll need to tap them from both the top and the bottom to make sure they're locked together tightly. The slotted logs allow for the roof support beams to be inserted and help to pull the whole building together. Use the mallet to tap the left and right beams into place. Make sure to secure the beams at each end into the apex logs using long screws to prevent any movement. You can now install the door framing. This can also be done before the roof beams are installed. Start by slotting the bottom framing over the foundation log. You then need to remove the rear board from the top and side framing pieces so you can slot them into place, covering the side logs. Once the framing is slotted into the doorway, replace the boards on the back of each piece and secure with screws. The next area to tackle is the floor. It's a relatively simple job but can be quite time consuming. Begin at one end of the room and place the boards up against the wall, perpendicular to the bearers beneath. Boards need to be secured with nails into the bearers below at each end and the middle. Make sure that the boards are pushed tightly together to prevent any movement and fix them into place. Repeat this until you reach the other side of the room. For the roof, begin at one end of the cabin and align your board up with the end of the roof beams. Make sure that the tongue of the board is facing into the cabin so you have a flat face for felting. Secure the board with nails into the roof beams and side logs. Repeat this across the length of the roof, ensuring that each board is flush at the end and locks it securely into the previous board before nailing into place. When installing the storm bracing, you need to fix them to the top log board and run them down both sides of the cabin. Begin by lining up the bracing and drilling through the cabin wall to insert the bolt. Thread the washer onto the bolt, then hand tighten the nut. This is so you can align the bottom of the bracing using the spirit level to make sure it's straight. Once the bracing is secure, tighten both bolts with a wrench. Repeat this for all 4 bracing strips. The next step is to secure the curtain rails. This is placed on the top of the window and the door kits are secured with screws. Again, making sure to pre-drill the wood to prevent splitting. The cabin doors are easily installed, simply slotting the hinges down onto the frame. To install the lock, insert the tumbler into the opening and fix in place, using a large screw into the front plate. This will then allow you to affix the front and rear face plates to the lock before installing the handles. The inside handle is secured and tightened using a small Allen key to prevent any movement. The doors can be adjusted with an Allen key if they aren't quite sitting correctly. When felting the roof, there are 2 ways you can do this. Either measuring the length of the roof with a tape measure and then cutting the felt accordingly, or placing the felt on the roof itself and rolling out to the correct length. If you're doing it this way, tack down the end of the felt before rolling it out to prevent any movement. Try not to pull on the felt too much as it may tear. Always make sure to allow approximately 2 inches of overhang to allow you to tack the felt down easily and create an effective water runoff. Tack the first sheet down at approximately 6-inch intervals to ensure it's securely held to the roof, and repeat this for the second strip, allowing the felt to overlap by at least 3 to 4 inches. For this cabin you will need 3 strips in total. Once you've finished tacking down the roof and felt, you will then need to install the roof support beam for the veranda section. Align the beam up with the end of the roof log and ensure that the post is level across both sides. Use a spirit level to ensure this is accurate. You may need to trim the ground touching end of the post to make sure it fits tightly under the roof and offers maximum support. When you are happy that the post is level, pre-drill the post and then screw through into the roof beam. Repeat this for the second post. The floor trims are very straightforward. Place the wider edge of the trim flush to the floor and go around the inside of the room, nailing in place in the middle and at both ends. You may need to cut down several pieces to get a snug fit, but this will leave the floor of your cabin with a professional finish. Your cabin is very nearly finished, just one final step. Use a fascia board to apply pressure to the felt and slide it down over the side, preventing wrinkles. Always remember to pre-drill your fascia boards before screwing them into the cabin, as this will prevent the wood from splitting. Screw the fascia onto the ends of the roof beams and at the centre and at the ends of the board. Repeat this for the front and side of the cabin. When installing the rear fascia board, you need to install some support blocks underneath the roof edge. Place a block at each end and in the middle of the roof. Screw down through the roof boards and into the block to attach them. You can apply the fascia board as before. You're finished! Thank you for taking the time to watch our installation video on the Walton's 3 metre by